Folks are starting to come on in. Next slide, please. So welcome everyone to the SERO SNAC quarterly meeting. My name is Stephanie Carrillo from Public Health Institute Center for Wellness and Nutrition, and I will be facilitating today's call. Next slide, please. We will, here, our agenda is here on the screen. We will start off with a state roll call. We'll hear updates from FNS and then hear from our guest speaker from Kentucky. We'll then discuss the journal article on achieving health equity, walk through and discuss the success story booklet, and then open it up for any SNAC updates from the states and any reminders. Today's call is shortened a bit. We will be ending at 2 p.m. due to a meeting that USDA folks have to attend right at 2. So we'll go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. So we'll start with our state roll call. If you can please introduce yourself and the state agency you represent, and we'll just start with the list here. We'll go down the list and start with Alabama. If you could please unmute yourself. Do we have anyone from Alabama today? If not, we'll move on to Florida.
Hi, this is Brenda Treadwell. I'm here from Florida, and we have, I think, some other people from Florida.
Hello, Brenda.
Hey, this is Krista Schoen from Florida as well.
Welcome, Krista.
I'm here from Florida as well.
Hello, welcome. Georgia.
Hi, Latrice Davenport from the Family and Children's Services.
Hi, Latrice.
And Michaela Gallo from the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services.
Welcome, Michaela. Kentucky.
Hi, this is Christina Marasini with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services.
Welcome, Christina.
Good afternoon. I always have to look at my clock to see what time it is. Hey, good morning or good afternoon. So it is afternoon here in Kentucky. Afternoon. My name is Jessica Hinkle, and I work for Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services. Thank you.
Hi, Jessica. I think that was Corey. Hello.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I'm Marissa All. I'm with the University of Kentucky Nutrition Education Program. We are one of the 2 SNAP-Ed implementing agencies in Kentucky.
Hi, Marissa. Okay, Mississippi. Anyone on from Mississippi?
Yes, Arnell Wilson, Mississippi Department of Human Services State Agency.
Hello, Arnell. Okay. North Carolina.
Good afternoon from the right coast. This is Jane McBurney from North Carolina State University, SNAP-Ed program Steps to Health, and we are an implementing agency.
Hello, Jane. South Carolina.
Hello, this is Janine Hodges. I'm with DHEC SNAP Education Implementing Agency.
Welcome, Janine. And Tennessee. Anyone from Tennessee?
Yep, Arlia Finch with the Tennessee Department of Education. The school nutrition program is here.
Welcome, Marlia. Did we miss anyone? Anyone jump in after we started roll call that would like to introduce themselves? Okay, great. Thanks all. Thanks for being here today. Next slide, please. So I'll move on to USA updates, and I'll hand it over to Joy. And I do want to say, if you have any questions for Joy, please type them into the chat box. We will also pause after the updates to take questions verbally. So please, if you have any questions, I encourage them via chat box, or at the end, there'll be an opportunity to ask them verbally.
Great. Thank you very much. So let's see the first slide. All right, so do have quite a few things, and I'm not going to go over them in too much detail, but the first item is the U.S. dietary guidelines and some brand new dietary guidance that's coming out. And actually, that is from the FDA. And so this is actually the Food Allergy Safety Treatment and Education and Research Act, or the FASTER Act. And this law was just signed recently, and it requires now that there be a ninth most common food allergen, and that being sesame. And so on food products, starting January of 2023, all food products containing sesame will need to be labeled accordingly. And then in addition to that, in the legislation, it also authorizes the Department of Health and Human Services to provide regular reviews of food allergy treatments and research. And that research is going to be, the results of the research are going to be disseminated via the USDA dietary guidelines. And you all may recall that early introduction of infants to allergens based on the latest dietary guidelines is recommended between the 4 to 6 months of age. And so then next, we have the Child Nutrition Program waivers for the coming school year 2021. And the most prominent thing with regard to child nutrition programs is that for the new school year, in addition to the National School Lunch meal pattern option, school districts will also be able to use the Seamless Summer option, which really maintains the same meal pattern as in NSLP and school breakfast. However, if the states opt to select this option, then they will receive a higher reimbursement rate, and that reimbursement rate is for the summer program. So good news for school food authorities. And then all of the other waivers that were in place for this current school year will also be in place for school year 22 or 21-22. And those include the non-congregate meal service, mealtime waiver, parent pickup, meal pattern flexibility, and that includes both NSLP school breakfast and CACFP. Also, there will be flexibility regarding offer versus serve for high schools. And then there will be a waiver of area eligibility in after school and also for family daycare homes. And then there will also be an on-site monitoring waiver for both schools and for CACFP. With regard to requirements for CACFP sponsors. In addition, the PEBT program will now be extended over the summer of 2021. And okay, so then next, want to share a little bit about the Institute for Child Nutrition. They have a child nutrition sharing site. And so the recent change is that they're going to add a category for farm to school. And this is going to be a farm to school resource hub. So for those of you all who are involved in farm to school, this will be a place for states to that want to share any resources that they have developed, this will be a place for them to share those resources. And so that launch date for the website will be, well, it should have been April the 26th. So it should already be launched. So then the next item, and I believe I just spoke about PEBT, the next item is for the TFAT program. And so really quickly, there is a TFAT Fresh Produce Initiative. And basically this came into play because the Farmers to Families Food Box program that you all are well aware of is going to end this May. And so through the TFAT program, which basically is administered through food banks, families will be provided a fresh produce box that will contain between 10 and 12 pounds of fresh produce, inclusive of fresh fruit and vegetables. And let's see, so then the next slide. Okay, and so we just spoke about the flexibility for school meals. So actually this is a slide that has to do with the current administration's American Rescue Plan. And you can see that what I just spoke about with regard to the flexibilities for schools and childcare is included in this new funding. You know, and so the meals for schools and childcare will be free for the coming school year for all children. We spoke about the pandemic EBT expanded over the summer months. Now, the next thing has to do with the WIC program. And so you can see that there will be an incentive for purchases of fresh fruits and vegetables through the WIC program for 4 months. So that could be from May through September of 2021. And you could see that pretty much all of our states in the Southeast have elected to begin this option, either starting in May or starting in June to end in September, this September. In addition to that, you all are probably aware that there has been a 15% increase in SNAP benefits for those participants. And those additional benefits are going to be through this September of 2021. In addition, the bill includes additional funding for homeless young adults that participate in the CACFP program through emergency shelters. And then last but not least, there will be additional funding for seniors through the Commodity Supplemental Food Program. And as you all probably are aware, this is a food box program for seniors primarily that is administered through food banks. So if you all, do you all have any questions regarding these updates? If
Joy,
not,
this is Brenda Treadwell from Florida, and I just wanted to say that I'm in the WIC program, but Florida's
Yes.
going to participate too in the fruit and vegetable incentive program.
Can you repeat that, Brenda?
Yes, Florida will be participating in the incentive where we get the added additional funds for the fruits and vegetables.
Oh, great. Yes, I went on the website, USDA's website, to see which states were participating. I noticed that Florida was not on the list, so it may have been that this was, you know, dated information. So thank you for that update.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there's a
other
question. Yeah, there's a question in the chat box. With the WIC incentives for fresh fruits and vegetables, how would purchases at farmers markets be monitored or supported?
So at this particular time, I don't have any information about that. It is my understanding it's going to be the cash value voucher that amount will be increased. I think it's $35 per participant, whether that's a woman or child. And Brenda, can you provide
that's
any
correct.
additional?
Yes, Joy, that's correct. It's just a $35 additional benefit, like you said, for women and for children, and you can only have it for 4 months. So we're doing June, July, August, and September, and it will end. But they will just have that extra amount on their EBT card. So it is a cash value amount. So whenever they can spend that as their cash for fruits and vegetables at the store at the farmer's market.
So that's at the store versus farmer's market?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's at the farmer's market. Yes, it's the farmer's market program.
Okay. All right, thank you. So that is all for the USDA updates.
Great, thank you, Joy. And so we'll move along. Next slide, please. And so I am excited to welcome our guest speakers today. We will hear from Christina Marasini on the Kentucky SNAC Being at Home Together initiative. And then we will also engage in a journal club discussion facilitated by Marissa All. Again, we highly encourage interaction and discussion, so please either type in your questions and comments into the chat box or unmute yourself at the end of the presentation to ask questions or share comments. So first up, we have Christina Marasini. She is the Public Assistance Program Specialist for the SNAP Ed program with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services in Kentucky. She has been employed with Kentucky State Government for 22 years and has served in her current position for 3 years. Next slide. And I'll hand it over to Christina.
Thank you. And thank you all for this opportunity to highlight the work going on with Kentucky SNAC. And so I want to take this time to share with you all a special project that we have going on. And Kentucky has chosen the initiative Being at Home Together. And that's in light of COVID and the focus of being healthy at home. And so our focus was to provide resources virtually to all in the communities by creating a website specifically for our SNAC. Next slide. And our SNAC mission was established to maximize nutrition education efforts and improve coordination and collaboration among SNAP Ed state agencies and FNS nutrition assistance programs, public health agencies, and the food and nutrition education programs within our state. Next slide. And so I have a list here of some partners that we currently have. The ones in yellow, I've tried to highlight for our state agency partners, but we have the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, which is where I am employed. And I am the coordinator for the SNAP Ed program, so that is within the cabinet. And we have the University of Kentucky and Kentucky State University's nutrition education programs. The Dairy Alliance and WIC is also some of our partners. And we have the Division of School and Community Nutrition, as well as Feeding Kentucky, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, the Division of Maternal and Child Health, and SNAP ENT, which is also based within the cabinet. We have Healthier Generation, Community Farm Alliance, and Kentucky Food Banks. And there are more. I just didn't have enough room to put them all on here. So, like I said before, our initiative, we have chosen to title it Being at Home Together, as that seems to be the focus for the world at this point. So we have teamed up with Epic Technologies, and they are going to be creating this magic that we want to share with everyone. They are a small IT consulting company and have been in service since 2007, and they are located in Lexington, Kentucky, so not too far from us. And their goal is to provide the innovation and organization needs for custom software development and services. And we came into contact with them because they had previously partnered with the University of Kentucky on some web design projects. So that is how we found them. Sorry, next slide. And some of their project goals that Epic Technology has is to design and create an attractive website for us that serves as a one-stop location to provide all this detailed information regarding our mission of SNAC, our partners, all their contact information, events, and access to multiple resources. And they will also provide training to the site administrator, which will be myself, regarding how to do editing techniques for updating the text and documents and the calendar that will be on the website. And then they will transfer full ownership, including the design and edit rights, to us. And they will provide the hosting of the site, which means we will have our own space on the web. It won't be attached to anybody else's pages. It will be our spot on the web. And this will be, on a year-to-year basis. Slide. Excuse me. So what all this means is that during the pandemic, most families are staying at home and they are having more access to the internet, and that's becoming more and more popular. So Kentucky's SNAC goal was to provide a virtual toolkit that would give resources from every partner that is associated with SNAC in Kentucky. And it's all about accessibility. So whether it's your browser on your phone, when you're out anywhere, or your personal computer at home, anyone will be able to access these resources. And the amount that we will have could be limitless for everyone. And so what can you expect? What are you going to be able to see when our site goes live? So we will have 5 basic functional areas on our webpage. And so we will have the landing page, which is basically the home page. And so we'll have partner listings, an interactive calendar, tools and resources, and then we'll have a place for meeting minutes. So our landing page, like I said, will be our home page. And this is where you'll be able to find general information about Kentucky SNAC. And so it'll be the first place that you see all of the logos that we're going to require for everyone. We'll have the mission of SNAC and the initiative title, which is the baseline of this site. And it'll all be posted there. And then of course, there'll be the menu bar that you can access all these other places of information. We will have a place for partner listings. And so it will start out by what it means to be a partner with Kentucky SNAC. And then we'll have all of the partners listed, and it will have all their contact information, such as a contact name for that particular partner, the address of where they're located, the phone number and emails, and any hyperlinks to their sites, as well as their personal logos. And we also want to include how, if anyone wants to become a partner, how do you become a partner with us? And one way they can become a partner is by simply being an entity that services the Commonwealth of Kentucky residents in nutrition, education, and wellness. And so contact information, which would be my contact information, will be listed for an entity to correspond with me, and then they'll show interest in becoming a partner. And then we'll set up, at one of our SNAC meetings, and they'll come and give a small presentation on their efforts and what they have to offer. And once that is done and a discussion is made, a formal invitation will be sent out to them to extend the partnership and jump on board with Kentucky SNAC. And so we're also going to include a calendar. We started out with this idea before this initiative, but it just could not coordinate with everyone's programs on their computer. So Epic Technologies is offering that we put this calendar on our site, and it will be interactive for everybody in the communities. So if I'm looking for something that is offered either in my area or around me, maybe a cooking class or some type of educational service or anything that I might want to sign up for, gardening classes, anything of that nature, we can list those on that particular day. It'd be like a little hyperlink, and you kind of hover over it and it pops up and it's going to tell you what is offered, what the event is, who's hosting it, and that person's contact information. So someone will be able to directly link to them and get all of the information that they need for that particular event on that day. And it's going to run year round. And we'll also have an area for tools and resources. And so this is where the majority of our information will be. And there's going to be a lot more, I hope, than what is listed here. But as of right now, our focus would obviously be recipes and recipe cards that people can print out or use on their iPads or phones or computers. We hope to have gardening tips on there. That's something really big right now that's happened since COVID, that's kind of blown up, and which is a good thing. And so we hope to have some gardening tips on there for folks, and exercises that you can do at home. A lot of people may still not be comfortable going to the gym or can't afford to go to the gym, but want to be healthy. And so we can give ideas on exercises that they can do at home, as well as wellness tips. And so a lot of people are definitely cooking more at home now and utilizing maybe some benefits that they're receiving. And we want to share cooking tips and obviously food safety. And so we hope to have those listed for people, resources that they can utilize. And we also want to share our meeting minutes that we have from our SNAC meetings. And we want to have those posted, little Word documents that they can, hyperlinks that they can get. And this will allow transparency for the public, and they'll be able to see all the work that is put in behind the scenes by the council, and so that they can share in our work and in our progress. And one thing I want to also put on there is additional information that we've just kind of thought of and come up with as time has gone by in creating this. Want to add an area where folks can go and apply for benefits. They may be looking for that type of information and not know where to go and just happen to be on this page. So we want to share the link where people can go and apply for any SNAP benefits or benefits that they may need. We also want to make sure that we include the civil rights statement. And we also want to have directions for anyone who has questions. We don't want to create a general inbox where thousands of emails just populate and come to one person. So just kind of a direction area where if you are looking for information about benefits or applying or just questions in general, but you kind of have an idea of the area it might, be served in, or what partner you might be leading towards, to specifically go to their link on that site and their contact person and send information to them, which will have their email and everything for them to use, instead of just one general inbox that may or may not have the manpower to look over. And so how are we going to manage this page on our end? Our role will be in the editing will be as site administrator, and that will be myself. And so I will be able to edit content on the site, such as updating the calendar with new dates and events. I can add documents, and I'll be able to edit text. But if there's anything else specific that goes more in depth to that, Epic Technologies I'll be able to reach out to them, and they'll be able to update those resources for me. And so their resources that they'll be including is obviously their skills. They will have developers who will create the site. And so for us, that was required at about a 40-hour cost. And like I said earlier, there would be training for myself, for the site administrator. And so that's about an hour's worth of cost. And then for the technology part, the web hosting, which would be our place on the web, would be at a year per year cost. And this application will be tested on all major browsers. So they're going to test it on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and you will be able to use it on your Android and iPhone devices that are running the latest version of those softwares. And here we just have a general project timeline. We have the discovery period, which, initial meetings and plannings, which would take about 2 weeks. The goal is to have the mock-up design and approval to take about 3 weeks. Our testing period is looking to be about 1 week, and then the training and deployment of going live would also take about 1 week. And so right now we are currently in the role of gathering all of the information from our partners to put in the Dropbox for Epic Technologies to start creating and building the site. And I know that we are cutting the meeting short today, but I wanted to make sure that my information was here and available to anyone who might have any questions about this initiative and what we're doing with this project.
Great. Thank you, Christina. Thanks for sharing. It sounds like a one-stop shop, like you were saying. We do have a question regarding funding. What funding is used to support this project?
We'll be using our SNAP-Ed federal funds.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Christina? And when will the website be live? Do you have a...
When we first started this as a whole, we're looking at about 7 to 8 weeks. So as long as everything goes smoothly, I'm projecting about June, maybe July.
Okay. And so it sounds like it's a, it's a site for partners and residents. How will you promote, how will it be promoted to community residents? I was just curious.
Well, each of our partners will be able to promote it on their sites and share information within their programs and get it out there. And then, we'll be able to do the same in-house as well. And hopefully you guys will share it too.
Great, thank you. Folks would love to see it. Can you share it with the group when it goes live?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Great, thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Yes. So in the interest of time, we will move forward. And so next up, we have the Journal Club article discussion that Marissa All will lead. Next slide, please. Marissa is the director of the Nutrition Education Program at the University of Kentucky. The Kentucky Nutrition Education Program encompasses 2 separate USDA programs, the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Both programs are administered by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service and target low-income families and individuals with nutrition education. Prior to assuming this role, Marissa spent 5 years as an extension specialist for the Community and Economic Development Initiative of Kentucky and 11 years as an extension agent for Family and Consumer Sciences. Welcome, Marissa, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you so much. If we could go to the next slide. So hopefully you all had an opportunity to read the article that was sent earlier. As we are all, as an implementing agency, as we're planning our 2022 plan, there's a lot of things that we're taking into account. And so this article really was a great opportunity to discuss health disparities between populations and how they continue, despite a range of efforts, have continued and gotten even greater. And so there's a greater need for focusing on health equity as we move forward with our work. moving beyond simply just identifying that they exist and instead seeking ways to reduce and eliminate them. Something that someone told me years ago that always resonates with me is that there are no hard to reach audiences. We simply need to reimagine how to reach audiences differently. So today we just have a few discussion questions, if you wouldn't mind to go to the next slide. And really, I'm interested and excited to hear what you all are doing as well. I think it's always best when we can learn from each other. But having read the article, just curious, what are some of the main points that you all draw from this article, and why does this matter to the work that we do? And we will open this up for discussion. So you can unmute yourselves if you'd like to engage with us.
I think the biggest takeaway, this is Jane in North Carolina. I think the biggest takeaway for me is obviously the importance of the PSE work. And in North Carolina, with my team as an implementing agency, that is very much a focus for what we've been working towards. And we just hosted a PSE Academy for the extension agents in our state, because that's how we deliver our program. So the idea that, we can teach nutrition all day long. We can tell people what to eat, educate them on why it's important to eat fruits and vegetables and be physically active and all this. But until we really change their environment, the impact will not be there. So that was exciting to me to see, further emphasis on that for the future. And so that's what I grabbed from it. I'm also going to share in the chat box for anyone who's related, who's interested in community engagement. There's a tri-state conference coming up that is being hosted by 3 of the 1890 institutions that have SNAP Ed and FNET programs. And there is no cost to register. They do ask that people would perhaps make a donation to their local food bank in honor of this conference. So I just shared that link if anyone would be interested. That's coming up later this month.
Thank you so much for sharing the multi-state conference, which I'm also very excited about, but also about PSE. One of the things that we're having difficulties in encouraging folks with PSE is evaluation and how to evaluate their work around PSEs. But I think it's exciting to hear that you all provided some additional training for agents. Anyone else would like to share? Well, if there is something, feel free to come back to it for question 1. Our second question is really sort of looking at opportunities for SNAC to impact health equity and to affect health disparities through the work that we're doing in SNAC. If you're already engaged in activities in this area, we'd love to hear about them. If you're not, but you're planning to engage in activities in this area, we'd love for you to share that as well, sort of specifically in regards to your SNAC efforts.
So this is Joy, and I just wanted to share that with, in terms of health equity, we're planning to do some training via Lunch and Learn in our regional office with all of our staff, just to give them like a refresher on social determinants of health and, what all is included with health equity. And then we're going to look at how our optional program administration is actually done. And by optional administration, I mean the grant opportunities that we have available in our various programs to see, are we really promoting health equity that, organizations that apply for these grant opportunities, that they're taking into account, being able to reach all of the vulnerable populations in their state, maybe taking a look at, trends, with how they have administered grants in the past, and then seeing what they can do to improve the level of health equity as they move forward. So that's what we're looking at in the Southeast.
That is exciting, and actually sort of leads to our last question. What resources and or training would your SNAC coalition benefit from in this area? And you can put that either in the chat box or unmute and share. Our university has been doing a common reading experience, and so we're on our second book now, but really have focused on diversity and inclusion, but also looking at how that impacts the work that we are all doing, particularly in my area in family consumer sciences extension. But what resources would you like available to you, or training available to you that would benefit your SNAC coalition in your state?
Hi, this is Latrice from Georgia. I had a couple of thoughts around, how to advance health equity in the work that we do. And a lot of the models and frameworks that I've reviewed have a couple of kind of common themes, and they include ideas around power shifting, shifting decision-making power about programs, budgets, personnel from institutions to communities, how to kind of co-create solutions with communities. And a lot of the models are very local. And so it might be really helpful to receive some training around what does co-creation look like at a state level, or do you need to really focus on local communities and instead of a kind of standardized statewide model? How are you collecting data? Do you disaggregate it, and do you use that information to then inform your program? What role does community play in program development and answering the questions around how resources are shared, and how exactly are we sharing that information with communities, and how are community members really invested in that work, so that when your organization has concluded its work, that it's really leaving behind champions and community members that are have a better understanding of the work around PSC, how to continue to push for change and to advocate for change for their own communities, without the presence of our institutions necessarily being there to push those forward. So those are some of the ideas that I've had around potential training or technical assistance opportunities.
Thank you so much. Anyone else have any topics or for training or resources that they would like for their SNAC? Well, in the interest of time, because our meeting is a little shorter today, if you do, please put them in the chat or send them after the meeting. And we look forward to doing sharing amongst states if we have particular things that we're doing to address this. So thank you all so much.
Great. Thank you, Marissa, for engaging us in this important discussion. I just want to say thank you to our guest speakers for preparing great content for us today. So moving on The next agenda item is SNAC Success Story Booklet. We'll walk through this item and I'll hand it over to Amy DeLucio.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I wanted to come back to this piece that we introduced at our last SERO SNAC meeting. So wanted to provide some overarching vision for this booklet, discuss any feedback on the template, and then kind of start to discuss timeline. The vision is to have a success booklet for all the work that you all have been doing in SNAC and how the SERO regional office has provided support. So the booklet will look twofold. One, we hope to have a success story from each of the states, and we understand that the success story may be at different stages. It's been really great to hear over the last few meetings how far each state has become, and many of you are already implementing an initiative. But we do want to also focus on the successfulness of partnerships and the journey you all have taken. So we developed the success story book template to get some of that information from you. A companion piece to the actual, qualitative story that we'll get from each state will include a survey that we might do with all of you all, trying to pull out some common themes across the region so we can have some introductory text that looks at, what we've been up to together as a region with the focus on SNAC. Some of the commonalities and successes, so that might include commonalities around partners around the table, focus areas, which I know has really leaned towards food access over the past year. We were already going that way, and then with COVID, I know it really exacerbated that. I've also heard a lot of innovation using digital ways to communicate. So we want to capture those different things across the region. So, there would be some introduction and some overview related to, regional successes and regional commonalities. And then we would go into each state's SNAC success story. So that's kind of the vision around the booklet. It provides a nice piece to the investment that SERO has been putting into SNAC. And it's something that we can all promote to our different partners, your SNAC partners, some of your funding partners, your management, USDA, et cetera. So I wanted to go and just open it up to folks on the call. One, to see if there was any questions or concerns related to the success story template or any comments related to how we plan to lay out this booklet. And you can unmute yourself or type anything in the chat related to that. I think we would like to see, I would like to see if we can have a deadline on the actual success story by the end of July, so we can have a quick check-in on our next call and then start receiving those and have a hard deadline of July 31st. This will allow us to start to review those, edit those, go back and forth with you all on any needed changes or additional information, and then start working on that. We will use our SNAC logo as the design, but also it can be co-branded. Each story can be co-branded with any state level design that has been developed, but the overall branding will be the SNAC logo that was designed for the region. And then I also would like to dig deeper next time in July to talk about the survey that will go out. We can discuss the categories, get input at that time, and then we'll send that out and collect the data. I do anticipate the finalization of the booklet maybe running into next federal fiscal year, but we would like to get all of the data in this year. So we're in a good position to quickly put it together in a booklet that we can start to disseminate in the first quarter of 2022.
Hi, so this is Joy, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how the success stories will be disseminated. And so I think what we're planning is for you all, for the state SNAC liaisons, to make that decision within your state and within your coalitions. However, I just wanted to mention that as far as SERO, the regional office, is concerned, what I plan to do is to, and I don't know if you all are aware, but our regional administrator, Willie Taylor, makes visits to each state commissioner, so for each state agency. And what he actually uses as briefings for our programs, each one of our programs, there's a briefing booklet that really includes state agency profiles. And so every year I update the state profiles with information regarding, SNAC, who the liaisons are and, what we're currently doing, that sort of thing. And so I intend to upload each one of the success stories into our state profiles for the RAs, regional administrators, visits with the commissioners. In addition to that, we will be most likely sending the success story to the state directors in each state, each one of our program directors. So that would be SNAP, WIC, Child Nutrition State Directors, in addition to probably our food distribution state directors, just to let them know, about the status of the nutrition coalitions in each state. And I think it will be quite informative. So in addition to that, I think we'll probably post it on our interagency website for SERO. So just for your information, look forward to getting those done. Thank you.
Someone noted, did they miss the template? We will go ahead and send, my plan is after this call, we'll go ahead and send out the template and the submission information with the due date of July 30th, because I saw the 31st is a Saturday, so we'll just go with July 30th. And that way you all will have the same information and we will collect those. Feel free to reach out to Joy or I if questions come up along the way. Again, we are happy to receive stories, even if you haven't fully implemented an initiative, but you have seen a success just within your coalition, whether it's establishing it or bringing in new partners. And then we definitely would want to hear about if you have implemented something, as well as maybe next steps. So that would be, that's all laid out in the template, but feel free to reach out to Joy or myself if questions come up as you're starting to think about what you want to include in that template. And then as mentioned, I will be working on, between now and our next meeting, I will be working on with Joy a survey template that will then go out, but we will review that survey template at our next SNAC meeting just to get your input and make sure those categories make sense for all of the states and you all feel confident in responding to those. And then we'll release that survey probably in August after we've had time to get your input, making sure that we're meeting the needs of the region. And then we'll collect that data from you all too. That will be part of this overarching booklet. And as Joy has said, each state will get their own story, but then we'll also collectively put it into a regional booklet. So you'll have the option of having, just your own story as well as the collective booklet. So unless there's any additional questions or comments, that's all I had to share with you about this project today.
Great, thank you, Amy. And so we have a little bit of time for any last minute questions folks on the call may have thought of for any of our speakers. Feel free to unmute. I'll pause for just a brief pause for any questions via chat or by unmuting. Okay. And so next slide, I do want to give folks an opportunity to provide any SNAC updates. So please, if anybody on the call has updates to share, we have a bit of time for that. So please feel free to unmute and share any updates with the group.
Well, this is Jane from North Carolina. I'll share that as a result of being on one of these calls, we went ahead and made a contact with Food Finder to learn about their program and see if that might be a good fit for our next initiative in North Carolina. And we had they presented to the folks that are included on SNAC, as well as a number of other partners, because we have some similar initiatives. So we'll be talking about if this is the right fit for us, if it's duplicative of what's already happening in the state when we meet in May. So it was a really good presentation. Very impressed with Food Finder.
That's awesome. Glad that the information was useful.
Yeah. One of the things that we loved about Food Finder is that people can go into that Food Finder system anonymously. They do not have to say where they're at. They don't have to put in a name or anything like that, and they can find resources. And it's actually live already. You can pull down an app and utilize it. It's just the tool that Illinois shared, how they have it on their website, has a lot of specific icons and more specific details. So it's a wonderful resource. Wonderful resource.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Any others?
Yes. Hi, this is Janine from South Carolina. I'd like to share that for South Carolina, we finally launched our SNAC coalition. We've had 3 meetings, so I'm excited that, we've had great participation. So we're fairly new, so we're not haven't selected an initiative as of yet, but we're working towards that. And so I'm really grateful that the success story we can include just the fact that we have established that SNAC coalition. So that's what I'll be sharing for South Carolina. Thanks for letting me share.
Great. Great to hear the progress. All right. Any others? We are just about at time and want to make sure folks get off the call to their next commitment. So move right on. And so real briefly, the biannual SNAC update is due April 30th. We are also seeking volunteers for presenters for the July quarterly meeting, which is July 28th. So please reach out if you are interested in presenting at that meeting. And just a couple important dates I'll run through. May 25th is a joint SERO SNAP Ed and SNAC virtual meeting. The School Nutrition Association Conference, which is virtual, is July 11th through the 13th. And the SNEB Annual Conference, also virtual, August 8th through the 10th. And that's all I have today. So thank you all for joining. Good to connect with everybody. And we will see you all, talk to you all in July.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.